Imagine living on a remote farm, miles from your nearest neighbor. For weeks, you've been hearing footsteps in your attic. You find a strange newspaper you never bought. A set of house keys vanishes. Then, one day, you discover a single set of footprints in the fresh snow, leading from the deep, dark woods straight to your home. But none leading away. This isn't the start of a horror movie. This was the terrifying reality for the Gruber family in 1922, just days before they were all brutally murdered. This is the story of Hinterkaifeck, one of Germany's most chilling and perplexing unsolved crimes. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're journeying deep into the Bavarian countryside to uncover a century-old mystery that continues to haunt investigators and historians alike. The farmstead, known as Hinterkaifeck, was home to Andreas Gruber, his wife their widowed daughter Victoria, and her two young children, Cecilia and Joseph. Just months before the tragedy, their previous maid had quit in terror, convinced the house was haunted after hearing strange noises. The family dismissed her fears, but they soon began experiencing unsettling things themselves. Besides the phantom footsteps and the mysterious newspaper, Andreas Gruber told neighbors that a house key had gone missing. He searched the property from top to bottom, but found no one and no signs of a break-in. It was as if someone was watching them, perhaps even living among them, hidden just out of sight. The family was on edge, but they had no idea of the horror that was about to unfold. On March 31st, 1922, a new maid, Maria Baumgartner, arrived to start her job. Tragically, it would be her first and last day at Hinterkaifeck. That evening, under the cloak of darkness, the killer made their move. It seems they methodically lured the family members, one by one, out to the barn. First Andreas, then his wife Cecilia, followed by their daughter Victoria and her 7-year-old daughter, also named Shiz. Each was met with unimaginable violence, struck down with a mattock, a heavy farming tool. The scene was gruesome. The young Cecilia had even torn out clumps of her own hair, a sign she had remained conscious for a time after the attack. The slaughter didn't end there. The killer then entered the house, murdering the 2-year-old Joseph in his crib and the new maid, Maria, in her bedroom. Now, this is where the case takes an even more disturbing turn. After committing 6 murders, the killer didn't flee. They stayed. For several days, this unknown individual lived at the farmhouse alongside the bodies of their victims. How do we know this? Neighbors reported seeing smoke rising from the chimney. The family's livestock, cows and other animals had been fed and cared for. Someone had even eaten meals in the kitchen. It was as if the killer was calmly going about the daily chores of the farm, completely unfazed by the carnage they had created. Days went by. The younger Cecilia didn't show up for school. The family missed church on Sunday. Mail began to pile up. Worried neighbors finally decided to investigate on April 4th. What they discovered was a scene of pure horror. The bodies stacked in the barn, and the 2 others inside the house. The police were called, but the investigation was flawed from the start. Before the scene could be secured, dozens of curious locals had trampled through the property, destroying potential evidence. Over the years, more than 100 suspects were questioned, but no one was ever charged. Robbery wasn't the motive, as a significant amount of money and valuables were left untouched. The killer clearly knew the farm's layout and the family's routine, suggesting a personal connection. But who? Was it a scorned lover of Victoria's, a disgruntled farmhand, or a complete stranger, a drifter who had taken shelter on the property without the family's knowledge? We may never know. The Hinterkaifeck murders remain a terrifying enigma. The long-term surveillance, the methodical execution, and the killer's chilling decision to stay on the farm create a uniquely disturbing profile. It's a story of an intruder who didn't just break into a home, but seemingly into the family's entire life before brutally ending it. The case files are officially closed, but the ghost of Hinterkaifeck lives on, a dark chapter in criminal history that refuses to be forgotten. What do you think happened? Let me know your theories in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and if you found this case as fascinating as I did, be sure to subscribe for more deep dives into history's greatest mysteries.